Okay, so today is another lecture of the series of lectures which we are doing upon short story writing. Uh, so far, what we have done is we have come to know about the structure of the short story. There is exposition, orientation, then rising action, then climax, then resolution or falling action, and then the end. Then we learnt about coda as well, and then we learnt about some important elements of the short story writing as well. Some important elements which are always in one short story, uh, like characters, plot, setting, theme, and some other things as well. So today, actually, we are moving more towards getting involved in writing short story. Before this lecture, we actually learned uh, what is a short story, what are the elements or components of an effective short story. Today we are moving towards a how to write a like an effective short story, and what areas we need to focus upon when we are writing a short story. So today we are hopefully going to discuss about character, and then setting, and then the plot. Okay, so first of all, uh, there are different ways of beginning your short story. First of all, you need to think and plan. You think and you plan for your short story. Many people, they first think about the theme and the moral lesson. Okay, so now for example, uh, there is a lot of injustice in our society, and you feel that you need to write a short story which highlights injustice in our society. Acha. Sometimes uh, situation or condition of a particular person, it clicks you. It either makes you happy or makes you sad, and it gives you idea of writing a short story about the condition and the situation in which a particular person is. For example, you are sitting in an office, and a person comes and he is looking for a job. Uh, when you look at that person who comes for a job, so he is in a pathetic condition. He is in a very bad condition. He has a lot of certificates and degrees. He is a very learned person. He is a very able person. But unfortunately, he is unemployed and he is unable to have a good job. So now the condition of this particular person gives you an idea about writing, gives you an idea, and you think that you need to write a short story in order to highlight the condition of these kind of people in our society. It is also possible that you are traveling from Karachi to interior Sindh or Punjab. On your way, you come to know about the poverty of the people, the life of poor people. For example, there are a lot of widows, beva, lot of widows. Their husbands passed away long time ago, and they have to look after three or four children. Now, a particular widow, she has to work from 9 to 5, and she also has to care and look after her children. So, this condition of a particular widow, this condition of a particular woman and widow, like uh, gives you an idea or a theme, and you think that you need to write a short story about this. So many people, they have a theme in their mind and then they develop that theme into a short story. Okay, now for example, you have a theme. Now, for example, you have a theme in your mind that you need to highlight the importance of hard working. You need to highlight, you need to tell the people that hard working always earns you reward at the end. You want to tell the people that if you are a hard working person, you will never fail in your life. You want to tell the people that uh, you need to work hard, and a time comes when your hard working pays you back. So now this is the theme. Okay, and now you want to develop this theme through this plot. What is the plot in your mind? That there was a person who was born in a poor family. So he, meaning educated himself, he worked hard, and then a time came that he became a big officer. And people of people from his family, his village, or his locality, they they admired him a lot, praised him a lot, and then they also tried to follow his role model, and they started educating their children. So this is the theme and this is the short plot. Okay, now when you have this theme, so now you have to develop the character, the setting, and the plot according to your theme. For example, you are working on a theme that hard working pays back. Okay, so now the best example is that you need to create a character which goes, which matches with this theme. For example, if here you take an old man, for example, so most probably this character won't match your theme. You getting me? ठीक है ना? For example, if somebody is writing like a love story, so love stories, there can't be Amresh Puri as a main character in love story. There must be a young, vibrant young man. So because the theme of the story requires the character must be young, because love is mostly attached with young people. So now when you first you make your theme, and then you create the character, the setting, and the plot according to your theme. Okay, so uh, like uh, we have created a theme, and that is we are going to highlight the importance of hard working. Okay, so this is our theme, and we are going to develop a story. Acha, so now as I have told you that if we have this theme, so we need to have a young character. Okay, so now there are some particular questions. If you ask those questions yourself and you answer those questions, okay, keeping the theme in your mind, so hopefully you will be able to make a good character which not only will match with the theme, but it will be a very good eye-catching character. Achha, first of all, you need to know who is the main character of your story. So you imagine the main character of my story is a young man. Where is this person from? Okay, so what does, meaning in this, what does suit your character in this situation? For example, your character can be an urban area from Karachi city, or your character can be from interior Sindh, or from a village, from a remote village. So I think here, if your character is from a village, so it suits your theme more than a character who is from the city. How old is this person? So as I have told you, he is a young person. So most probably he is like 22 years old or 20 years old. What does this person do for a living? Is this person a student, an adult, married, single, divorced, retired? So you can like imagine that your main character is actually uh, a student, okay, and he is a single student, meaning he is not married. And you imagine that there are two sisters of him who are sitting at the home waiting for the marriage proposal. And he got two or three young brothers as well, younger brothers. He got two old parents as well. Okay, so this suits the theme of your short story. What are this person's family members like? I have told you his family members are like this. What are this person's friend like? So who are his friends? Because he belongs to a poor family, so his friends like should be from poor family background as well. What is unique about this person's character? Okay, what makes this person happy, happy, angry, sad, surprised, excited? So what is unique about this person's character? You can say that this person is a hard working person, and this is something very special, something unique in that character. Acha, so what makes this person happy? Like now it is up to you. Like if he studies, if he works hard, so he is happy. If there is injustice, he gets angry. If there is injustice, he gets sad. Okay, so all these things you need to keep in your mind. Who are some of the other characters in story? Okay, so now you need to create some other supporting characters as well. For example, you can create a character who supports financially this poor student, because this student was from a poor background, so he was unable to pay his fees. Or it is also possible that the supporting character is a driver, because your student is living in a village, so he has to go to attend his college or university to city. So now he doesn't have money to pay for this traveling. So there is a driver who is a very kind and polite person. So when he observes the situation, the condition of this student, so he says that I'm not going to take any money from you. I'm not going to charge you. You can travel through my minibus, through my chingchi without any money. So meaning these are some questions. If you ask these questions, okay, and if you keep the theme of the main theme of your story in your mind, and you answer these questions, so you will come up, you will create a good character which will match your theme. Okay, after the discussion, write a few paragraphs about the character. We will do this activity later on. Now let's move towards setting. Okay, so moving towards the second element, and that is setting. uh, Obviously, when you are writing a short story, so that short story must be somewhere in terms of time and place. So you need to create the setting according to the theme. For example, the first question which you need to ask when you are giving setting of the short story, when does the story take place? Okay. So for example, your theme is working hard and you are talking about education and degree and good job. So obviously, this short story suits, meaning this our age or 20 or 30 years back. But if you give the setting of your short story like 1000 years ago or 2000 years ago, so that time there were not like degrees and educational institutes and like employment. Everybody would work, meaning everybody will do his own work. Okay, in those times jobs were very rare, and then there were not any drivers, so you have created a supporting character which is a driver. So in those days there were no cars, okay, no minibus, so how can we have drivers? So now the time must suit, like the theme and the character. Where does the story take place and where the story is taking place? So obviously, like we have a theme of a poor man who is working hard and who becomes something big in his life. So the setting which suits is village. What does the place look like? So how does a village look like? You need to meaning paint the the setting through your words in front of eyes of your readers. Okay, so you will see that that was a poor village. It was somewhere in very remote area. There were no electricity in those days, and mostly poor people who didn't have who didn't have access to education. They would live there. So the place looks like this. Why does the story take place here? Why does the story take place here? What is special that the story is taking place in that particular situation, sorry, place? So you know that because your theme is like this, that a young boy working hard and educating himself. So he is coming from a very poor background. So the theme suits village setting. So that's why it is village, and that is the reason that our short story is taking place in a village. Does the setting change in the story? If so, what are some of the other times and places in the story? Okay, so for example, the story starts in the village, okay, but ends it ends in city. So he came from interior Sindh, he became an officer, he became officer of 17th grade, and now he got a bungalow in Clifton or Defense. He got like luxury cars, okay, and he is living a very happy life. So this is the setting, okay. Then another changing setting, for example, he goes to school or a university or college. So you need to describe the college and university as well, okay, because half of the story takes place inside the four walls of college or university. So settings and timing, they might change. So if they change, so you need to mention them, and you need to change the settings according to the requirement of your theme. It is also possible that you write a short story which takes place only within four walls of a house. Okay, there is no change of setting, or there are no different settings. So in one setting, the story जो है ना, story finishes, and that one setting is enough. Acha, it is important to set the time and the place and to establish the mood at the beginning of a short story. Gee, from the beginning of the short story, it is good that you mention your setting and you mention your place and you also establish the mood. You know what is the mood? Mood is from the reader. So, what feelings the reader gets from from the story. So you need to create these three things in the beginning of the story. Here are a few examples of ideal setting for different types of short stories. For example, if you are writing a ghost story, Jinnati Kahani, so the ideal setting is an old house in the countryside on a rainy night. Purana sa ghar hai, and that too is in a village, okay, and the night it is raining in the night. So it suits the theme because you are writing a ghost story. So this is the ideal setting. A detective story, crime story, like spy story, a hotel in the city where guests mysteriously disappear, an adventure story, an old ship on a stormy ocean in the days of pirates. साइंस फिक्शन जो है वो स्पेसशिप में होगी, फैंटेसी जो है वो फेरी लैंड में होगी. तो मीनिंग the the setting must suit the the theme and the idea of your short story. Okay, so now we are moving towards the third important element in a particular short story, and that is plot. So it is a bit difficult and complicated, but inshallah, as you people have already learned what is plot, and as in the first part of this lecture, you have learned how to make a character, how to create a setting. So hopefully, you will also be able to create a good plot. Acha, you remember the rising action, the falling action, which we discussed. So, when you are writing a short story, so as I have told you, there must be a theme. And let me say the same thing in some other words, there must be a problem. Okay? Because your main character faces a problem and he wants to resolve that problem. He wants to solve that issue. Okay, so he struggles, he fights with that problem. He suffers from that problem. So now conflict starts. Then a time comes when that conflict reaches to its peak. Okay, that is the climax. But your main character is somehow able to defeat that problem. He is somehow able to resolve that issue. So now what happens that problem starts decreasing, the falling action starts. Then a time comes that problem is solved and your character wins. So now when you are making a short story, so you need to create a plot. And what are the elements of the plot? What problem or conflict does the main character experience? There must be a conflict or a problem which main character experiences. So in this situation, your main character is a poor character, okay, and he suffers from poverty, okay. He suffers from lack of education. He suffers from lack of good lifestyle. So these are his problems. What does the main character or other characters do to cause the problem? Okay, so sometimes the problem is from the main character and sometimes it is from some other people, other characters, or sometimes from other factors like the situation, like he was born in a poor family. Okay, so his family background is actually causing the issue and the problem. What does the main character do to resolve the problem? So what does he do? He educates himself. Okay, so you need to show that many times he doesn't have any fee to pay for his college or university expenses. He doesn't have any money to pay the fees or uh, to meaning spend for other expenses. Or sometimes he doesn't have means to travel. He doesn't have any transportation. He has to travel miles after miles in order to reach to the university because he doesn't have money to pay for traveling. How are the characters affected by the incident or the experience? Okay, so you need to also meaning show the condition of your character, meaning because he was from a poor family. Okay, so because of poverty, he suffers a lot. First of all, his parents were not willing to enroll him in a school. So somehow, some people from out of village they come and they make mind of the poor parents of that particular village that you need to enroll your teacher, your children into schools. You need to get get them admitted in school. You need to teach them. You need to educate them. Okay, so now in this way he gets admission in school, and then uh, the behavior of teachers in school that was also not good, and in this way the story moves on. How does the main character change in the end? So what happens at the end? This main character, he gets education and he becomes like an educated person. Then he goes and he sits in CSS exam, or he obtains BSCS and he becomes a software engineer, and now he has a very lavish job. Okay, so wherever he goes for interview, everybody says you must come and join our company. So now a person who was unable to, meaning who didn't see 1,000 rupees note in his whole life, now people they are offering him 200,000 and 2 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees. So at the end, this happens. Now, what happens? He earns a lot of money. He marries off his sisters, okay, and he pays. I mean, he educates his younger brothers, and then he serves his parents, and his parents they go for Hajj. So this happens at the end of the short story. So now we have discussed number one character, number two setting, and number three plot. Okay, and what is the beginning point? What is the starting point? Your theme. What is theme of your story? So you need to keep that particular theme in one sentence in your mind, and then you need to create characters and setting and plot which matches your theme. For example, you want to highlight the importance of hard working. Okay, so now you need to create characters the which match the theme. You need to create setting and plot which matches your theme. For example, you want to write a short story in which you want to highlight how women suffer in our society. Okay, so now you must create a character which matches this theme. So main character is obviously going to be a woman because the theme is how women suffer in your society. Then accordingly you will make setting and plot. Or you want to write a short story about how people they destroy themselves after getting a lot of wealth. Okay, so here your character must be a wealthy character. Okay, because your theme requires this thing.